Are you listening? Damn. Yeah. Yeah.
Another episode of Trash Talk. I'm Damian Hill. With me, as always, is TJ O'Connor. Tonight we have Nick Kazze getting ready for his LFA fight going down February 21st at Mystic Lake Casino. Trash Talk is brought to you again by Valhalla Combat Sports Incorporated, Ink Shrinks Tattoo out in New Brighton, Minnesota, Origin Wellness CBD out in Minneapolis, Minnesota, James Clark Sports Psychology and Hypnosis Therapy, Spartan Martial Arts, TJ's mom, and the fighters. How you doing tonight, Nick?
Good, man. How are you guys doing?
Doing good, man.
Yeah, doing great. Can't complain. Appreciate you taking the time to talk with us here. Man, we're creeping up here. By the time this gets posted, it's fight week. How you feeling right now?
Dude, it's the anticipation leading up. Getting your mind focused, your mental game. You're just staying on top of everything. I feel fucking great. I'm just great. I feel happy to be a part of the LFA and being on this card and facing a tough opponent. And I'm ready to showcase my skills and come out with the W.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's been a little bit of time since your previous fight. Could you fill us in on what's been going on? What type of training, and was this fight? Have other fights been falling through, or have you just kind of been waiting for an opportunity? I mean, LFA is a great opportunity.
Yeah, so my last fight was last April for Three River Throwdown, and I got the W against a tough opponent that had a lot of experience. I was scheduled to fight again in September. Didn't really pan out. The guy dropped out because of a cracked molar. So I was still in fight camp. I was from April through the summer. I was still fight camp to fight camp. Took a little time off. I was working. Got back in the gym and started focusing on my ground game and just getting all my tools together. And I heard that LFA was coming back to Minnesota, and I told Jeremy that I want on this card because I feel like I could be in the top 5 with all these other guys, and I can showcase what I got, especially on a big stage against a tough opponent. Brings out your best, so why not?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just being the opportunity, and like you said, you mentioned the fight in September falling through. That was, a fight that I was looking forward to, and I know how much work you put into it, and then to have them fall off. So to get a little bit of a well-needed break, and then to get this opportunity against another tough guy, getting into this fight a little bit, what do you know about Jordan specifically? When did you get the call for this fight and sign the contract?
Yeah, Jeremy hit me up. It's been in the works for a long time. About 3 months ago, I want to say. He hit me up and told me to get on this LFA card, and I was like, sure, bring me anyone. I don't care who it is. And he got back to me with Jordan Clark, and I knew the name. I saw him in the rankings. I saw his record. I watched videos on him, and he's got a really good game. He sets up his hands to his takedowns, and he's got a really unorthodox style with that, and I like it. And I think we have one of the best matchups for the amateur card with our styles that we bring to the table. So that's why I think this is such a fun fight. I have a lot of respect for the dude, and I know what I can bring to the table, and he's going to be very surprised on what I can bring. So I think it's just going to be a barn burner in there, dude. We're going to go in there and fucking throw hands, and, if it goes to the ground, he's going to be super surprised. Like, yeah, I just got my blue belt, but I've been training no-gi since I was 17 off and on, so little does he know I have a fucking background, but I just got my blue belt for gi. So I'm ready to go in there and just do what I have to do. I hope it's a 3-round war, and I can share some moments with him in the cage and fucking maybe bleed a little. I don't care.
Oh man, I love it. To the fans that might not actually know too much about you, you do have a martial arts background. You're currently 1-0 in MMA. But could you tell? I guess I already kind of know this information. I'm lucky to be in the position that I am in. But could you fill in the fans that are watching a little bit more on your background?
Yeah. So I've been wrestling since I was in kindergarten. I wrestled all the way up to 8th grade. I was burnt out, so I quit. And I started boxing right away. Right after that, a gym opened up in Hastings, and I started boxing when I was 14. I was a silver glove when I was 15. I went to regionals, took second place. And I did that off and on until I was about 18 years old. My senior year of high school, I wanted to be in mixed martial arts, so I wanted to go out for wrestling my senior year. And I did pretty good. It was just more or less getting that background. So when I go into MMA, it'd be a lot helpful. And then I started training martial arts when I was 17, and I had some kickboxing fights. I went down to the TBAs, and I was runner-up. I fought for the title, which I should have won that fucking title, but they gave it to the other guy. Muay Thai scoring is so fucked up. But no, it was TBAs is awesome to get that many fights in one weekend. And, if you're beat up and just pushing through the grind, and if you have a stacked weight class of 16 guys, you're fighting 4 times in a weekend, or maybe even more. And then jits, doing as many tournaments as I can, and that's about it.
Yeah, so obviously competition isn't second nature to you. You've been competing, since, like you said, since kindergarten and wrestling, and has different stages, different variants, but I believe that's why it's called mixed martial arts. So I feel like that prepped you for this moment best. Like Damian mentioned, you only had that one MMA fight. So for the fans that see that, please do your research here. This isn't just someone with a one fight going in and fighting a guy with 5 or 6 fights. This is a well-matched fight. I believe I said it in an interview with Jordan. When I think of this fight, I think of one of those like old school Western fights where they're just rolling around and everything's just happening. How have you been preparing for an opponent who's relatively evenly matched as far as skill for skill in every category and same style kind
of? I've been kind of just focusing on my own game. I have a lot of good guys on the ground, and we've been focusing on a lot of wrestling and working off my back to my top game and just any aspect of the fight, really. Just focusing on my own game. I don't want to get too caught up in what he does because it is amateur and anything can happen, right? And so right now I'm just kind of, making sure I am loose as possible. I'm not going out there with an adrenaline dump and, leave everything else behind besides me and my coach and my opponent in front of me. Who gives a fuck who's in the crowd? It's just us. And we're in there, and we're going to be throwing hands. We're going to be scrapping. We're going to be rolling wherever the fight goes. So really just focusing on everything. This has been a really well-rounded camp. I know my striking will be there. It's always been there. I have kind of unorthodox type of style. So I feel like he'll see a lot of volume and a lot of pressure. I have a very pressuring, smothering game, and he will see that.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I mean, this is TJ mentioned it right off the bat. I mean, you guys, him being ranked where he is and also being the current Peer FC champion, and you still only 1-0 in MMA, but we know about the background. So this fight is a really good fight to have, with you being only 1-0 right now in MMA and him being the current champion. What do you think a win would do for you as far as the division goes?
Not sure if I'm supposed to say anything, but I heard.
No one watches this. Don't worry. It's just us talking.
No, it's all good. I don't even care. But I think it's like, 3 Rivers coming up right in April. So someone's going to be fighting for that 150-pound title after this fight.
Oh, hell yeah. That would be dope. Is that something that you I mean, everybody wants to be champion, but is that something that you feel like, before making the step as a professional, whenever that day comes, is something that is on the to-do list for you as an amateur?
Yeah, I definitely want that title. I know if I can go out and, get that W on Friday night and get that title shot against Garrett Carlson, I know that will be a barn burner, between me and him. And I want a title just before I go pro, obviously. I want to take some fights at 155, fight for that title. And then I might even go up to 170 and try it out up there in case, down the line I want to go pro. And, I can't make 155 anymore when I get older, you know. So I want to make sure 170 is good if I can get my body right, and you know, take some fights at 170 and see what happens.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you just dropped so much news there. I'm kind of stuck on a question. Damien, take this one.
Oh yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm like I just love what you said talking about the amateur experience and possibly moving up to 170.
Yeah.
Is that I don't know. I don't want you to give away too much about weight cuts or anything like that. You never need to reveal that to future opponents and stuff like that. But is 155 one of those? Do you have any struggles making 155 currently?
No, I mean I fought at 160 and that was easy. Wasn't hard at all. And 155 is I like this camp. I will have no problem making 155. But I just look forward to, like, you know, when you talk about, you know, guys in the UFC, they talk about weight cuts, and you look at a lot of the top fighters like Jorge Masvidal and all these other guys that tried making it to 55, and you know they're going to decision a lot, and they're more volume fighters. And, once they moved up to 170, they carried so much power to them when to all their fights, and you know I feel like, you know, life ain't all about just cutting weight and being miserable all the fuck. You know, I'd rather still live my life and have fun. And if something does happen where, you know, I'm winning fights or I go pro, you know, then I'll start taking it more serious to 155. But I'd like to see what happens at 170 too if I can get my body right.
Oh man, I love hearing that because I'm a huge fan of how they're doing things over at ONE FC, you know, the hydration tests and things like that. And Frank Jaeger has been one of my favorite fighters for a long time. Granted, he is going down in weight recently, you know, but when he was champion and when he was at the best of his abilities, you know, when he was fucking beating everybody, he was at 155 pounds. And he used to say that he would wake up on weigh-in day at 154, 153 pounds. He would still eat breakfast, wasn't cutting that much weight. So, like, I mean, and you use good examples yourself with Jorge Masvidal. Like, the proof's in the pudding, dude. I like that mindset.
Yeah. My favorite quote was, "There's a lot more to life than cutting weight," and I feel like that should be something that is a sentiment to all fighters out there.
Yeah, and when I fought at the TBAs, you know, I didn't cut any weight. I just went in as walk around weight. It was 172 to 179, and the energy, like, yeah, I was fighting guys that were 6'2" and bigger, but they went down easier because they were cutting so much to get down to 172 to 179. I was just in there, you know, walking around at my normal weight, and I had so much energy and power. I was putting guys out within the first round, you know, and to have that, you can see both aspects when you fight at, you know, a lower weight class to walk around weight class. You know, it has its advantages, but it's something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. These are things you got to consider. But like you said, at first it's tunnel vision. Jordan Clark this Friday night. What? I'm trying to think of how I even want to word this because I'm lying. I'm stalling right now because I blanked. But I'm going to rephrase the entire question and save myself. Who do you want to thank for being there for you for this camp? I mean, I'm a cheap plug to one of our sponsors. You're at Spartan Martial Arts, obviously room full of killers. Jordan has a specific style of, you know, big, strong grappler. I feel like you have a who's who in the room in Spartan to try to kind of match that. Who have you been working with for this camp? Anybody you want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, I'd say everyone at Spartan. I've been rolling a lot with Travis Brzezinski lately. These last few weeks, and he's been helping me out. Really solid dude. He's been around the game forever. And then just, you know, we have some black belts that I roll with every day in the morning classes, and we've been doing a lot of no-gi this camp. So it's just been, I'd say everyone, because everyone's been such a big part of this fight. My teammate Van, he's been running a lot of my striking this camp, and so I'd have to say a big shout out to him too, and Mike Reed, Josh Glasby, Coach Tom Schmitz, Damian Hill for making it up that time to help us.
Yeah, thanks for not killing me that day. I mean, I think I gassed in about like 3 minutes. Oh man. No,
Yeah.
that was great. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off either. I don't know if you were finished.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, man. I really appreciated you being on the show. Being able to get. I just love being in the position that I'm in right now, where I'm getting invited to come roll and come spar with all these guys. Getting beat up by all the new talent in the game, and it's helping me come to terms with my retirement. So so thank you.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
you have a really unorthodox style, and it's fun to get different looks like that. And I've been watching you since I've been in the game, so it was an honor to share some rounds with you.
I appreciate that, sir. I'm like, if I was a little bit lighter skinned, you'd be seeing some blushing coming through on my cheek right now. Oh
Yeah.
man.
But yeah,
Like I really appreciate you being on the show. I'm really excited for this fight. This matchup is a really good matchup. TJ brought it to our attention earlier and in the previous interview with him that this is, I don't know, one of the premier fights for the amateurs that is going down on LFA 82 at Mystic Lake, you guys. Like, if you guys don't have tickets, go to Nitro Tickets right now, get your tickets, reach out to the fighters, hit that like button, like this video, subscribe to Trash Talk with Damian and TJ. Do not be a hoe.
yeah. I want to give a quick shout out to my wife. She just had elbow surgery a couple of weeks ago. She's been grinding, and she's going to be out for a little while, and she's going to come back strong. So I want to give a quick shout out to her. She's been in my corner throughout this fight camp, and we've been helping each other out in and outside the gym. My family, you guys, my teammates, and get ready for a frickin' barn burner this Friday at Mystic Lake. It's gonna be either a finish or it's gonna go all 3 rounds. Mark my words.
Oh yeah. Well, I kind of feel like a dick right now because I don't think we even asked you about the sponsors, man. Wow. I fucked up right there. That was my bad. Do you have any other sponsors you'd like to thank as well?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Minnesota Utilities Excavation. They're my company that I work for. They're sponsoring me for this fight camp. Health Junkie USA, Triumph Tattoo out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Old Trade Home Services. Thank you, all you guys, for helping me out this fight camp. It's getting through these last few days, and it's going to be a good one. So thank you guys.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm excited for this fight. Again, I'm gonna do the same wrap up. Like this video, subscribe to Trash Talk with Damian and TJ. Do not be a hoe. All right.
I'm gonna
Thank you.
stop
Fuck, I
the
totally